Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation to Barragán-Fonseca 2022. My name is Carol Barragán. I am a professor from the National University of Colombia. And my expertise has been just wild animals conservation management, but the last 15 years, I have been working with insects as feed and food in Colombia. And also I did my PhD in Wageningen University in the Netherlands on black soldier fly. And now I returned to Colombia and I started two different focus. One of the insect productions for social aspects, and insect production from a perspective from a industrial scale with a spin-off company called Entopro. So let's just start with this presentation focused on Insects for Peace, one initiative that we created to promote social transformation and circular economy through insects as feed in Colombia. So right now in the world, we are dealing with different issues where we have conflict and war. Right now, we are seeing food insecurity, hunger, climate change, and all of you right now know that insects can be a solution for a lot of problems from different perspectives, from environment, from social and economical perspective. And indeed, insect production can be used in circular economies because they can reduce a lot of impact in natural resources, can be used as a way to valorize the organic waste streams and to reduce nutrient losses. So indeed, insect production have a lot of advantages because there are low tech, for example. There are very, very important as animal production system because they have short cycles, they have a huge feed conversion efficiency for a lot of different aspects that support different development goals. Indeed, when we use insects to valorize organic waste streams, we can just to get from them not only high nutritious ingredients, but also we can get the frass that we can use as a biofertilizer. But you have been listening the whole morning this part of the advantages of insects. However, what I wanted to focus here is that how we can work with insects from the different sustainable development goals and mainly from the social aspects. How we can use insects not only as a nutritious ingredient for animal feed or just to use the frass as biofertilizer, but also how we can improve peasant and small scale farmers' economies. So this is the initiative Insects for Peace, where we use circular economy, we improve social inclusion, and we also improve local economies for small scale farmers in Colombia, producing socioeconomic impact there. So the communities in Colombia that we are working with are mainly people that used to belong to the guerrilla from FARC-EP, the oldest guerrilla in the world. We have been in a conflict war in Colombia for more than 60 years. And 6 years ago, the government signed a peace agreement with the guerrilla. So all the former insurgents became small farmers that now they're trying to be included into the society again. So they became new farmers and new peasants that are helping to improve our agriculture sector, but also they need a lot of opportunities to do it. You can see here, you can see a lot of faces from different people, mainly women, that started working as new farmers again in Colombia. So our target population from this project, Insect for Peace, are mainly in Icononso, Tolima. Is a region in Colombia that is almost in the center of the country. And you can see some of the farmers that are involved in this project in this region in Colombia. So the idea is just to solve a community problem, and it was the high cost of feed fish. So what we did is to implement a small pilot plan of the black soldier fly larvae production to feed tilapia, the fish farm that they were running by that time, 3 years ago. And in this picture, you can see Ricardo Arciniegas, who is one of the leaders of this initiative in Icononso, Tolima. Here you can see some pictures made by Humberto Diashinovi. He was in Colombia a couple of weeks ago just to try to document this process there. You can see here in the picture the fish farm that are running by ex-combatants of former insurgents in Tolima region. Here you can see Ricardo fishing, and the fish that they are now producing is tilapia fish. And this is the small pilot facility of production of the black soldier fly larvae. Through this process, we identify some conditions to try to implement this kind of project, not only with this community, but with other communities in Colombia, and not only with former insurgents, but also with small farmers in Colombia that produce fish mainly. So what we did is just to find some aspects from the social, from economic perspective, but also from economical conditions to implement and widespread this initiative in Colombia. That's why we identify how to implement black soldier fly larvae production system in small scales livestock production system like fish farming. We can reduce the cost of the animal feed in this kind of projects. So here in this graph, you can see how by implementing black soldier fly larvae as animal feed, in this case fish feed, we can increase the income generation for small farmers, in this case fish farmers in Colombia. So this initiative called Insects for Peace is not only now in Tolima, in Icononso, the pictures that I saw you, but also in the region in Guaviare and in the region in Magdalena in the north of Colombia. And we are working not only with former insurgents, but also we are working with peasants, conflict victims, and indigenous people there through this initiative. Here you can see a small facility that we have in Guaviare region, and you can see here 4 people that are involved in this process. This is a very, very small pilot plan of black soldier fly production, and we are teaching people, not only former insurgents, but also small farmers that are surrounding this kind of areas in Colombia. One of the very interesting things of this process is that these small farmers in Guaviare, they are producing their own feed animal. So what they are doing animal feed. And what they are doing is just to use all the vegetables and crops that they're produced there to make their own animal feed for fish and for pigs. So now they want to use black soldier fly larvae to replace soy meal or fish meal for their own animal feed, which is a really interesting process. Here you can see one of the pictures where they are preparing their own animal feed for their fish. This initiative, Insect for Peace, have been also just to train people. As I told you before, we are working to train former insurgents, but also different small farmers from different regions in Colombia that are interested in the process that we started with Insects for Peace, because they want to become autonomous and independent from external inputs or from importation of food and these kind of things that they are not right now suffering because of the rising prices of these kind of ingredients for animal feed. Here you can see one of the pictures from the last training that we did in Guaviare. One of the things that we want to promote through Insects for Peace is just to improve local economies from different farmers and small families that live in our rural areas in Colombia. The most of these people don't have money. They are poor people and they are trying to survive. And also just to try to keep young people in these areas, because one of the things that we want to promote is that these young children, people that are in these regions, try to keep in these regions to help their parents and to improve the economies of the communities. Here you can see some people that work in these areas, and many of them are conformed by women, by young people, but also indigenous people. And the most of them run small economies like small crops, for example, avocado, pineapple, passion fruit, but also in a mixture with livestock farming, but a very, very low scale, like poultry or fish. Here you can see some pictures where the whole family is helping in the fishing process after giving them the local animal feed that they produce by themselves. One of the things that we are trying to promote is to try to include the larvae production in this kind of local animal feed production. So this small-scale insect farming initiative want mainly to empower communities, just to become them autonomous and sustainable, because they really need to be completely out from the external inputs to be sustainable. And this kind of initiative, of course, requires of the participation of many people from different perspectives, from different lines of research, just to try to help them. And what we have done is just exchange of knowledge, where we can just to merge the knowledge from the communities and from the academy to improve this kind of process. I would like just to show you one phrase of a Latin American writer, that is Eduardo Galeano, that is many little people in little places doing little things can change the world.
Cuando se piensa, digamos, en una dejación de armas de un grupo guerrillero, ese proceso no es solamente de inclusión a la vida social de aquellas personas que estaban, digamos, en un grupo armado, sino que eso involucra inmediatamente a todas aquellas regiones donde ha habido presencia y dominio de estos grupos, porque esas personas también que estaban como aislados, olvidados, ya tengan esa oportunidad de poder gozar de una paz estable y duradera.
Insectos por la Paz para mí es la cereza que le hacía falta al ponquecito. A través de esta iniciativa de la Universidad Nacional en querer contribuir y llegar a dar una iniciativa de cómo minimicemos costos de producción a través de la reutilización de material orgánico, a través de la reutilización del medio donde se está y poder reproducir una mosca que para nosotros la desconocíamos pero era tan común y que desconocíamos su gran valor nutricional y cómo este podía suministrarse de alimento a los animales y cómo este ayuda a reducir los costos de producción, es una de las mejores iniciativas que he podido escuchar, que quiero en un futuro ejercer para minimizar los costos de producción de nosotros como unidad productiva de concentrados y unidad piscícola, y no solo estamos apuntándole a la economía, sino a un cuidado ambiental, a una economía circular, y es algo muy completo.
Estos bichitos nos pueden sacar del hambre, alimentando nuestros peces, alimentando los cerdos, alimentando las gallinas.
Las dificultades de los sistemas productivos en Colombia, pienso que la mayor es el costo elevado de los alimentos.
Dado el caso, por lo menos en el caso mío, que yo crío el pollo de engorde, cada vez que voy a comprar está más alto el costo y cuando voy a vender, entonces los proveedores quieren que le venda el pollo al mismo precio, siendo que yo he comprado más alto y me toca volver a subir. Y muchas veces vendemos y no tenemos ganancias solamente como para salir y terminamos con pocos resultados.
Pensamos que el desarrollo territorial debe hacer que no dependamos de las compañías multinacionales que son las que fabrican los concentrados. Entonces estrategias como la de la mosca soldado nos pueden ayudar a disminuir esta dependencia, porque el impacto que ha tenido en los últimos años el aumento de los insumos del concentrado en la producción piscícola ha sido muy fuerte. Una dependencia que no se vive solo en la producción piscícola, en la producción de gallinas, en la producción de cerdos. Hoy la dependencia de las empresas de concentrados es muy grande.
Problemas que han habido tanto políticos como sociales en Colombia ha afectado mucho, digamos, las clases bajas. Entonces, si nosotros nos ponemos a gastar dinero en alimentación química como la de los alimentos concentrados, que está tan costoso, entonces nosotros viendo esa oportunidad de poderlo crear nosotros mismos, hombre, la economía va a mejorar.
Para nosotros es difícil el sostenimiento de este proyecto de animales, por lo menos el pollo de engorde, donde necesitamos pues producir nuestro propio alimento para hacerle bajar el costo.
Si nosotros lo hiciéramos de otra forma no podríamos competir muy fácil, pero si nosotros implementamos este proyecto de mosca soldado, entonces podemos competir.
Podemos nosotros mismos hacer todo el ciclo de sacar un animal a la venta, digámoslo así, o para el propio consumo.
Es una economía, yo diría, alternativa que hay para la comunidad, porque uno siempre tiene que proyectarse a esa economía circular que es la que nos va a permitir, digamos, desarrollarnos aquí en nuestro entorno.
Por eso decidimos trabajar unidas para recolectar fondos y poder ayudar a los demás, enseñarles que sí podemos cambiar la metodología, la economía y el bienestar de nosotras y también de la comunidad donde nosotros estamos.
Pero ¿cuál es lo grande de esto? Es poder decirle, mire, de esta forma lo podemos hacer. ¿Para qué? Para si de 10, digamos, en este taller habemos 20, ¿cierto? Digámoslo así. Que al menos de esos 20 hayan 5, ¿sí? Que les quede y que quieran de verdad y que lo vean importante.
El futuro que yo le veo al proyecto y que estoy aspirando desde un inicio en de que me involucré y en de que creí en este proyecto es crear una empresa donde nos beneficiemos la cooperativa, las veredas, los campesinos que nos rodean a nuestro proyecto, ¿sí? Las comunidades, suministrándole el concentrado más económico y más orgánico.
Porque a eso le apuntamos nosotros igual, ¿sí? A tener una sostenibilidad económica y que cada uno de los socios diga, de ahí tengo un futuro, ¿sí? Estoy trabajando para un futuro, para mi familia, para los asociados, ¿cierto? Para la región, ¿sí? Para el medio ambiente, ¿sí? Porque esto va muy ligado al medio ambiente, ¿cierto?
El problema fundamental es concientizar a la gente y que esto puede llegar a ser grande y fructífero para todos, para la comunidad.
Ellos sí apuntan a un proceso de paz, ellos sí creen en un cambio. Es notorio el hablar con ellos que sí quieren un cambio y que le están apostando a este proceso. Y para mí es muy satisfactorio ver eso, ver cómo el campesino que antes tenía fobia, ahora los acoge como un hijo más. Ambos trabajan mancomunadamente, quieren y absorben todas las ayudas que llegan para mejorar su condición de vida.
Lo que más me llama la atención es poder hacer parte de este proceso de paz que estamos implementando en el país. Me gustaría poder marcar esa diferencia y poder interactuar con ellos para que entre ambos cambiemos nuestras percepciones y nuestras vidas.
Mi trabajo con excombatientes no inició solamente con Insectos por la Paz. Todos los días, cada vez que yo trabajo con ellos, yo siento que aprendo, ¿cierto? Son un ejemplo para mí también de resiliencia, de querer construir un mejor país, y espero pues continuar también, porque como siempre lo he pensado, la construcción de paz no es algo de corto ni de mediano plazo, es algo de largo plazo, y que debemos estar permanentemente en esa construcción para realmente alcanzar los sueños que tenemos.
Creo que el trabajo con excombatientes ha sido algo de vocación. El ser hija del Guaviare y conocer todas las problemáticas presentes en este departamento y estar inmersas en ello ha creado en mí el estado de confianza y de creer en un cambio y hacer ese cambio a través de pequeñas acciones, porque es mucho lo que hay que hacer, pero con pequeñas acciones cambiamos la perspectiva de las personas y le damos un color a una imagen gris.